Hello students, your topic for today is right to equality. So the right to equality is the first fundamental right that is assured to the people of India, and each citizen of India is guaranteed this right, that is the right to equality, which is through the Article 14 to Article 18 of the Constitution. So from 14 to 18 it is giving the right to equality. Article 14 is the general standards of equality under the watchful eyes of the law, and it restricts the nonsensical and baseless separation between the people. So the succeeding article lay out explicit utilization of the general standards set down in Article 14. Article 14 is equality clause because of its wide ambit and applicability. It applies to all persons, while Article 15 and others cover only citizens. So Article 15, it relates to the prohibition, the discrimination on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. Article 16, it guarantees the equal opportunity in the matters of public employment. Article 17 is about the abolition of untouchability. Article 18 is it abolishes title. So Article 14 is the equality before law. The idea of equality does not mean outright equality among the individuals, which is particularly practically unrealistic to accomplish. It is an idea which is implying the absence of any extraordinary benefit by the reason of birth or like for any individual, or furthermore the equal subject of all individuals and classes to the ordinary law of land. So equality before law, it implies that among equivalents, the law ought to be equivalent and ought to be similarly applied, that ought to be dealt with in a like manner. So the privilege to sue and be sued is to prosecute and be prosecuted for a similar sort of activity ought to be the same for all residents of full age and comprehension, without refinements of race, religion, wealth, societal position, or political impact. So, the equality before law and the rule of law. The assurance of equality before law is the part of what Dicey calls the rule of law in England. So, this was the rule of law in England, and it implies that no man is exempted from the rules that everyone else follows, and that each individual, whatever be his position or conditions, is subject to the purview of ordinary jurisdiction. So, Professor Dicey gave three meanings to the rule of law, which are: first, absence of arbitrary power or supremacy of law; equality before the law; and predominance of legal spirit. So, these are the three important parts for the rule of law. This provision means the absence of arbitrary power or supremacy of law means that under no circumstances the use of power exercised arbitrarily will overshadow the supremacy of the law. To it is can said that a person can be punished for nothing other than the breach of law. Now, equality before law I've already explained, and it implies the subjection. So it implies the subjection of all classes to the ordinary rule administered by the ordinary law courts that everyone must follow. So this means that nobody is exempted from the laws, and that it applies to everyone. And the predominance of legal spirit means that the constitution is the after effect of the ordinary law of the land that everyone must follow. So it implies that the pull out of which the rights of people arise is not the rigid constitution, but they are the standards as characterized and upheld by the courts instead. So the first and the second provision, it applies to the Indian framework, and the third part of the Dicey rules of law does not make a difference to the Indian framework, as the source of rights of people is the Constitution of India. So the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and all laws that are sanctioned by the legislature must be steady and in consonance with the provisions of the Constitution. Equal protections of the law. So the assurance of equal protection of law is like the one encapsulated in the 14th Amendment of the American Constitution. So this has been translated to mean this that the subjection to equal law applying to all is in similar conditions. So it implies that all people circumstanced in a similar footing will be dealt with in a like manner, both in the terms of the benefits received by them and the liabilities incurred on them, which are caused by the law. So, equal law ought to be connected to all in similar circumstances, and there should not be any separation between one individual and the another. With respect to the topic of the legislation, their position is the same. In this way, the rule is that the like ought to be dealt with in a like manner, and not that the unlike should be treated in a like manner. So, the rule of law forces an obligation upon the state to take exceptional measures to counteract the fierceness which can arise by the police procedure. So the rule of law is exemplified in Article 14 with the basic feature of the Indian Constitution, and subsequently it cannot be crushed even by an amendment of the Constitution under Article 368. So the guarantee of the equal protection of laws is accessible to any individual, which also extends to any organization or affiliation or group of people. So this is a signified by the law or by the words any person in Article 14 of the Constitution. And the protection of Article 14 of the Constitution, it stretches out to both the natives and the non-residents, and to legal as well as the natural persons. The equality before law is ensured to all without respect to race, color, or nationality. Organizations being juristic people are additionally deemed to get the benefits that are provided by Article 14. Thank you.